Guys of a Certain Age is brought to you by no one. Absolutely no one. Except these dudes walking down memory lane. Now let's head to the studio to see what they misremember next.
It's the hot November edition of Guys of a Certain Age. Robbie Kovalent's in studio alongside
Art Shirley
and Jay Reed.
We're all back together, and it's 80 degrees outside. We're recording on November the 7th. I'm in shorts. It shouldn't be this warm.
Yeah, it's definitely warm. And it's got a misting rain outside.
Yeah, what was that about?
I think
That's
the humidity just got so much it turned into rain.
Yeah, it's about precipitation, Jay. So next week is supposed to, night times getting to the 40s a little bit, but up to 70. Basically California weather. So during the day.
Yeah, I do understand it's supposed to be a warm winter, though.
Yeah, wasn't that a song by the Counting Crows?
I was thinking.
No, that's a long December.
Yeah, Cruel Summers, but I was thinking
Cruel
about
Summer.
Bananarama.
Bananarama. Or Cool Nights by Paul Davis.
Hey, that's right.
Who is from?
Meridian.
That's right. Paul Davis. Going to be a cool night.
I always like Paul Davis.
I like Paul Davis, too. I've got his best of, and I only know 3 of the songs. And my wife hates all of them.
Really?
Well, it's yacht rock. She doesn't like yacht rock. So let's jump. Oh, that's that.
Yeah,
that's
wreck it.
Let's jump into some Geeks of the Week. Who wants to go first? Would that be Art?
No, why don't I? I'll go first. Should I hold the obituary for last, or should I do?
I don't know.
I'm going to go ahead and do the obituary first. We sadly lost Greg Hildebrandt, one of the two brothers Hildebrandt, along with Tim. Tim died 22 years ago. Greg was 85 when he passed away on Halloween. Hildebrandt brothers, probably they're best known as for their collected works, or their works they worked on together. Did a lot of fantasy illustration. I know him. I always think of Lord of the Rings as soon as I think about the brothers Hildebrandt. Did several Lord of the Rings calendars. Just kind of, in a lot of ways, the definitive artwork for the Lord of the Rings stuff, The Hobbit, and those things. They also did a Star Wars poster. And Robbie and I were talking about this before the show because certainly familiar with their Star Wars poster. It's an iconic Star Wars poster, but it's not the poster that he has in his office or that I had hanging up in my bedroom as a kid. There's a more of a movie sheet poster. It's basically the same layout and format. Sorry. Choked up about Greg. But it's a different artist. I don't know who the artist is for.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I saw that when I looked him up. I saw that poster, and I thought, well, that's the poster.
He's good friends with Walt Simonson. In fact, Walt Simonson, who was a cartoonist a comic book artist for both Marvel and DC, eulogized him in his Facebook page. They had gotten to be really good friends. And so that's where I actually heard that he had passed away. Both the brothers started out as animators for Disney, which I didn't realize they did that. They did, the Lord of the Rings stuff. Both of them went on to do solo work before Tim passed away. But they did sort of Shannara. They did some illustration for that.
That's where
Gathering.
That's where I would know that from.
First?
Yeah, it was the cover of sort of Shannara.
Okay.
So, but just
I
very...
have notes here. I feel like Jay. But just a great, just a really, really a very distinct style of stuff. Yeah. They did a lot of later years. I think Greg especially did some fantasy work that included, like Grimm's fairy tale kind of things. They both did work for Marvel and DC as well.
They did some Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, it looks like just kind of anything that you would typically. They did heavy metal stuff.
Oh, heavy metal!
Was this like licensed things, like they were official, canon type art, or is it just
they would be
like Lord of the Rings, so we're going to make this calendar?
Well, they would have to be licensed by the estate for Lord of the Rings to do that kind of stuff. So I'm sure they were.
They were hired.
Yeah, they were commissioned artists to do these things.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So book covers, and then that turns into. During the '70s, that was really a great time for fantasy artists because you had Frazetta, you had Boris, you had the brothers
Vallejo.
Yeah, Vallejo.
Yeah.
And he's still alive, still producing some stuff. He and his wife, Julie Bell. So you would go into these bookstores and there would be a calendar and you picked kind of who your artist was or who your genre was, Star Wars, Star Trek, those kind of things. I'm sure they had Dungeons and Dragons calendars as well. So,
cool. Okay.
Yeah, he was. Yeah,
he's 85 when he passed away. His brother was only 67 when he passed away, but
he's still actively working.
Still actively working. Yeah, I'd actually been to some comic conventions recently. Yeah,
his stuff was great. I mean, very influential. So, I'm looking at some covers now. Yeah, he did some.
So we'll listen in silence.
Yeah, you listen in silence.
Take a moment of silence.
Yeah, a moment of silence for Greg Hildebrand. Had a really Frazetta type of approach at times, especially when it came to females, shall we say.
Yeah.
So, sorry, Mrs. Reed, please don't look up Frank Frazetta.
It's artwork. It's artwork.
Yeah, it's artwork on that one.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so cool. Yeah, well, very influential. Sorry, he's gone.
Yeah,
so.
Once I retire, this time next year, whatever it is. That's what I'm going to start doing is a lot of Frazetta type paintings and see if I can get.
And then you'll be dead. Yeah, very,
right.
very shortly after that. So, all right, Jay, what you got for a geek? I got like a couple of them. So.
Okay, do you have another one though?
I do have another one.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Second one first.
Yeah,
this is like Christmas. Do we open all our presents at one time?
Yeah,
do we go around the room?
Speaking of, I got y'all's Christmas presents.
Oh, really?
Yeah, already.
I was kind of hoping we'd break up before then.
Well, Jay, how's it going for you today? Yeah.
Well, I knew the microphone was off, but I'm still not making any sound. Okay, so I saw this yesterday, and apparently it's been around since 2020. It won the CES Innovation Award in 2020, but I had not heard of this, and neither one of you had heard of it either, right?
Well, we don't know what it is.
We talked about it before.
Maybe I've heard of it, but I haven't thought of it.
It's called Bartesian.
Oh, yeah. You talked about that earlier.
Yeah.
No.
And so it's basically it's a Keurig for cocktails. You instead of putting water, you've got two different types of alcohol. You can put in these containers, and the containers are you can lock the machine out so the kids aren't going up there and making cocktails with the stuff.
Parental controls.
And then you've got a little capsule that looks a whole lot like a Keurig pod, and it's got the stuff in there to make, like if you're making a margarita, it's going to have the other stuff. If you're making an old fashioned, have all that, right? So, and you put that in there, and you can make it either a mocktail, so there's no alcohol in there, or you can choose your strength. And when you put the pod in, it's got a barcode that the machine reads, and the machine's going to understand what drink you're making, and it may suggest what alcohol you need to have if you don't have the alcohol in there already. And then it will say this is it will recommend a strength for you, but you're free to go either up or down on that recommendation.
Jay. The
Which
J
is cool.
settings.
Now,
strong or iced.
It's like $350.
So what you're saying is I can replace all my bartenders.
Well, see, I kind of wondered if you might want to put something in there, and then not to replace your bartender, but almost like what are the drink machines where you can pick
the Coca-Cola Freestyle.
Yeah, Freestyle. So you almost do that with it, right? But the pods are like $16 a piece.
Ooh, no.
A piece?
So yeah,
for one drink.
Well, maybe I've read that wrong, but I'll look that back up again. But yeah,
yeah,
they were expensive.
Yeah, that's
maybe they're $16 for because that's where the money's going to be, right?
Yeah, that's the alcohol.
I mean, if it's like Keurig, that's where the money would be.
But they're not $16. The pods aren't $16 a piece. You may buy that for a pack of 12 or something, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
So I imagine it's probably the same thing.
Yeah. Oh gosh, interesting.
I mean, they're already making a pretty good chunk of change with the machine, right? You're buying the alcohol, but I guess that's where they make the money. That's the razor blade theory.
They probably wouldn't have had to come
Arch
up with
razor
technology though, because Keurig kind of invented that. So
yeah,
they're just taking off on that.
I'm still wondering, could I convert my Keurig into one of these? Could I?
Wow.
If you wanted a
can
hot
I get
toddy.
one of, can I get okay, so put a little alcohol in the back of it, right? And then
wow.
Might explode.
Yeah, it might catch on fire. Yeah. So okay. Well,
I'll let y'all know how it turns out. Okay. Yeah. I've actually got a Keurig that I'm not using anymore. I'm thinking about trying it.
Interesting.
Look, Jay's the wheels are spinning. Uh-huh. The wheels are spinning. So
well, I'm trying to figure out with the pods, like, would it be?
That's going to be your bitters and your mixers. What it is?
It is, but I mean, is it going to be a powder that dissolves? Or
see, that's when it be
yucky.
That's
what. Yeah, that could be gross.
Yeah.
I think they're more. Is Nespresso? Is that a liquid or is that powder too?
It's powder.
Okay. They look more like the Nespresso things.
So smaller.
But the Nespresso pods are really nice. I mean, have you had an espresso?
I've got one. Yeah.
You have an espresso?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. How do you like it?
I don't use it a lot, but I'm glad I have it.
Okay.
I just mean I use it.
Capture that soundbite because we're going to apply that to so many things now. I don't use it a lot, but I'm glad.
I use it about once a week.
That was about 9:10 on this episode.
Yeah. Guys of a certain age, official statement. I don't use it a lot, but I'm
that can be said of a lot of gadgets in my kitchen.
I was going to say,
sure.
boy, Alton Brown would hate your kitchen.
Probably so, because I have too many
You get
gadgets.
the gadgets? Yeah.
Now, Alton Brown is against unitaskers. He thinks if you buy anything for your kitchen, any gadget, it's going to have multiple purposes.
Okay, yeah.
And he's against unitaskers. And I think you have a lot of unitaskers.
I probably do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
and a lot of unidrinkers.
Yeah, well, like we have a Keurig, and Melissa uses that all the time.
Yeah.
I use it occasionally. I use it probably more than I should, but because
There's no judgment here, Jay.
Yeah, I know. I'm not on the coffee podcast, am I?
No,
No.
Okay, well, I'll use a Keurig every now and then.
Well, and you'll never go back.
Espresso is my Sunday morning drink.
So why is it your Sunday morning drink
why?
as opposed to the rest of the week?
I just chose that because I have a little bit more time on Sunday mornings.
Does it take
and I
more
can
time?
No, it doesn't. I just like. I noticed I wasn't using it that much. I bought it. I thought it was cool. I was using it, and I wasn't using it. So I decided that Sunday morning was going to be my.
Is it less
espresso
work?
morning.
Is that the Sabbath time?
Exactly. Well, that's a good question. It's a little less work because with the Keurig, I load my own pod with my own coffee.
I've done that before.
But with the Nespresso, I don't. So it is a little bit less work. But then I'm frothing my milk and all that too. So it kind of.
Yeah, I am
On a
judging.
Sunday.
We have gone way off the rail here, haven't we? What a shocker.
Yeah. Well, I judge you both because you have Keurig. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry. I'm just at that point in my life where life is too short for
Well, I have
that
the Keurig, and then I also have a cabinet full of coffee-making gadgets that sometimes see the light of day.
Wow. And you have an espresso.
Yep.
Yeah.
For
Okay.
those times when I need some espresso.
And I'm at the point in my life where I don't care. I'm going to drink out of a Keurig.
Yeah.
Drink out of it. Actually, sit there. Yeah.
But you
No,
said
I've
you
had
have a
this-
Keurig that you're not
That's why he
using.
wants the Bartesians.
Yeah, we got one, and it just after a while, it's an old one, and it's just not. I mean, I've cleaned it out and done all the kind of stuff, but it just does not produce enough coffee. I mean, you hit it, the 12-ounce thing, and you get 6. I have to do it twice, run it through twice, and all that. And just
gotcha.
I've still got. I keep it because it's still got the coffee pot part of it, so that it's become our coffee pot maker when we need that. We don't do that very often. Usually, once or twice a year.
If for any reason I sold Dolce, I would buy one of those $17,000 machines.
Would you really?
From the proceeds.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that machine. Oh, best espresso around.
Yeah.
So it's great.
Now,
Anyway,
I've had tried
That's why I have the Nespresso, because I don't have the funds.
I did try the Nespresso. They had them at a hotel instead of the typical thing I had. Yeah, so it was good.
yeah, and that's the time when I've had an espresso is in a hotel.
Yeah.
And I thought it was pretty good for
Yeah,
a
I thought
pod.
it was
I thought it
pretty
was
good, too.
really good for a pod, actually.
Yeah.
So,
I liked it as well. I just it wouldn't be something I purchased probably. But.
well, that was 13 minutes of arts, geeks. So.
That was just my geeks.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Your geeks and
Mine
your
will be
obit.
quick.
All right, so what's yours?
I'll be quick. I've discovered a new sort of a
There's
fantasy.
a coffee maker called a Keurig.
Now it's called a Mr. Coffee.
You're right.
Where's Joe DiMaggio?
I was going to say Joe DiMaggio is pitching it.
Jay DiMaggio here. Oh boy. Okay. So new podcast out. It's only got 2 episodes.
We
out.
don't mention new podcasts.
We don't
on the
mention
show.
other podcasts on our show.
It has. It's
We've done it plenty of times.
It's
That's a new rule.
This is not the first one, Robbie. I found this one interesting. I'm
This
not
could
sure.
be the
I'm-
last one.
I'm
We
not
don't want
sure
to.
I'm
We certainly don't want to
recommending this.
mention
Would you
interesting
stop
podcasts.
talking. Getting bolder in my old age. Hildy the Barback is the name of this one. It is. I was looking for like a book, an audio book, and I came across this instead. And interesting. It's a kind of a fantasy podcast. It's a story. And Hildy the Barback is voiced by Melissa McCarthy.
Oh my gosh! I'm going to check this out.
That's what interested me. I'm not quite sure I'm to the point of recommending it. I've listened to the first 2 episodes.
Well, it's too late.
That's all that's come out so far. But It's narrated by Octavia
Your mouth
Spencer.
to Pod's ear.
Yeah. Octavia Spencer is the narrator. And she's all through it. She's great. Glenn Close is the announcer, and I'm not sure why they have an announcer and a narrator, but anyway, Glenn Close kind of does the intro and the outro kind of stuff.
The row?
Allison Janney.
Yeah.
She is Gorwan the Dragon. Joel McHale is in it, Ben Falcone, and then beyond that, the names I don't really know that well. But
so I thought this was a story about being a barback in a bar and how to make better cocktails.
No, Hildy the barback becomes the hero of this story, fighting the Gorlocks, or I don't know. I forget the name of the village.
Well, a barback is
she's running her family's bar in this little village. And then is called on to do great things. And I'm only 2 episodes in, but there's original music which is interesting. It's kind of out there. It's a lot of ads. That's one.
Really,
so many ads.
What platform?
Limonada is the
not to be confused with limoncello
or Illuminati.
That's the company, the podcast company, whatever.
Okay,
that's done.
But is it? Can you get it on where all fine podcasts are available?
Yeah, and then the ones that ours are on.
I'm listening to it on Apple, but I'm sure it's on all the things.
Yeah. Okay.
But
so it's not costing you anything, or maybe you can.
There's
pay
a
for
premium version, but I think
ads.
it's just like the extras. So I'm not paying for anything.
So if we had a premium version of this podcast, what would it be?
I think you're hearing the premium.
All the
We are not denying our listeners. They're getting the premium prime choice.
I would think the premium version would be one of us would be excluded from it.
Oh.
Ooh. Wow. Ooh. Probably would be me, but anyway. All right. So
that's it.
Barista. What was the name of your thing?
Bartesian.
Bartesia. Barback.
And barista sounds, for some reason, I can't think I want to keep calling it that too.
Yeah. What?
So what is a barback?
Barback is basically a bartender's assistant who's running drinks and grabbing stuff. Yeah. And barbacks usually become bartenders.
Yeah, and I think she really is the bartender, but barback has a bit better feel for this type of
barback.
thing.
Thundar the Barbackian. With Ukala the monk.
What? Oh, I'm sorry. That's from Herculoids. The schmooze or whatever they were.
Yeah, that wasn't Thunder.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Art's
the sounds they made.
Art's now possessed.
That's
all right. Jay is
having a great time.
That's all. That
geek?
concludes my geek. I only have one and it's short.
Yeah. Well, I've got 2 that I think are pretty interesting. So, new Star Wars trilogy is coming. It's been confirmed.
Really?
But we don't know whether it's going to be episodes 10, 11, and 12. Well, it's officially called episodes 10, 11, and 12, but we don't know how much of a sequel.
If it's going to be 7, 8, 9 again.
We don't know if it's a continuation of the Skywalker saga. What has been announced is that Simon Kinberg, who is producer of most of the X-Men films, he also was a producer for Star Wars Rebels, along with Dave Filoni and Carrie Beck.
Okay.
He's going to write the new trilogy. So he's
writing the trilogy.
Yeah.
Great. Not just one movie and then...
Yeah, we're going to give this to somebody else to do. So hopefully it will be logged out. Hopefully it will, have structure across and not be a bunch of retcons and picking up disasters and trying to make them better.
Yeah.
So, have you guys rewatched the sequel trilogy at all?
Not in a long time.
Not lately.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever watched the third one, that 9 again. Maybe once since I saw it in the theater.
Yeah.
But
yeah. Mm.
I have watched The Last Jedi a couple of times. Just and it's kind of like and then no.
Yeah, I feel glimmers of hope with the prequel trilogy as well. It's like if they took the prequel trilogy and made it
one long movie, or maybe even
I will tell you about the prequel trilogy, about Phantom Menace. There was Lucas had thought about, I don't know if you guys saw this, making the Qui-Gon character.
I saw that, yeah.
Naming him Obi-Wan Kenobi. And then when he is killed, Ewan McGregor's character
would be Qui-Gon, and then he would become Obi-Wan.
He would become Obi-Wan Kenobi as a honorific for his fallen master.
Yeah.
And then they nixed that.
Yeah.
So
probably for the best.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Ewan McGregor finally figured out how to say Qui-Gon.
That's right. Qui-Gon.
can you say Obi-Wan? Well, yeah, I can say Obi-Wan. So, but the other thing, by the time this releases, it should be dropped, is you guys, I mean, this is very, very much guys of a certain age. There's going to be an original documentary on HBO Max called Yacht Rock, a documentary.
Oh, D-O-C-K?
Yeah, D-O-C-K. And so it's going to drop November 29th. It's going to talk about the emergence of the West Coast soft rock pop culture. Yeah. So when I say yacht rock, who comes to mind immediately?
Chris Cross. Mm-hmm. Christopher Cross.
Yeah, not Chris Cross. Chris Cross make you jump.
Yeah,
so,
that's right.
What about you, Jay?
Yeah, him.
Yeah. I actually picked up his debut album on vinyl when I was in Hot Springs, Arkansas.
Really?
Yeah, which has got all kinds of Michael O'Mardian, who was big in Christian music circles, produced that album. Actually, that album won a ton of stuff. But who else? I mean, Michael McDonald, Steely Dan, Toto,
Kenny Loggins,
Loggins and Messina.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I would think a little bit more Loggins and Messina than Kenny Loggins.
Really? Okay.
But anyway,
either way, you can see, it kind of depends on what they're doing. But
yeah.
Michael McDonald certainly. But I'm trying to think who else. Stephen Bishop, the Careless guy. He's occasionally in there.
I don't know him.
Yeah. Down in Jamaica, they got lots of pretty women. You'll hear that song. You may hear a song like that. But like Jimmy Buffett is not part of that group.
No.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Jerry Rafferty, Baker Street.
Yeah, Jerry Rafferty.
Which is arguably, to me, the greatest sax hook in rock history. Yeah. So, some early Phil Collins, maybe?
I didn't know about Phil Collins. I don't think I would.
Yeah. So, but
I mean... does Rupert Holmes?
Yeah, Rupert Holmes. I'm trying to think what I see on Yacht Rock 311 on Sirius XM radio.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's what. Yeah. Is there a constant Sirius channel now?
Yeah. So you can get it on the Sirius XM app or wherever you stream Sirius XM. So
but they'll occasionally have it.
So they'll move it. So come Memorial Day,
okay, yeah,
like the weekend before Memorial Day, they'll move it to like 17 or 18, and it stays on through Labor Day.
Yeah, that's when I've listened.
That's
to
when
it.
we've heard it before too.
But it's my current Sirius XM radio has got the full. I mean, it's got the internet channels as well in the truck, and so I've got 311 programmed, and my wife hates it, but she likes it's not Spectrum. What's The Bridge?
Oh yeah, The Bridge. We listen to The Bridge a lot.
Which is a lot of yacht rock radio.
It's a lot of the same stuff.
Yeah,
it's mellow rock.
Yeah. And I'm like, you like The Bridge,
yeah,
but you don't like yacht rock radio.
Yeah.
And we didn't. And then Paul Davis. We talked about Paul Davis a while ago. You know, Cool Nights. 69 Love Affair. So, but
musically, Becky's on either the 70s or The Bridge. What else does she have? But she will do yacht. She's a big fan of yacht rock when it comes around.
I like yacht rock. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it gets a little too much for me. But,
and speaking of Sirius, they've already gone to Christmas music.
Oh God! 17 channels of Christmas music.
Yeah, is it that many really?
17 channels, including Jimmy Kimmel's seasoning. Was it seasoning greetings? Seasoning greetings.
Okay,
he's got a new Christmas album out. So,
oh my God!
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah,
sorry to hear that.
It is what it is. Yeah. So, all right, we're going to take a break. Long segment. We're going to do a short segment. What are we talking about, Jay?
Samuel L. Jackson. Does he have a Geek Index?
Yeah, on a beep beep plane. Up next. And we're back. After a long segment, we're going to talk Samuel L. Jackson. So we're going to take the Geek Index, or Samuel L., and just a reminder, as I look in the official journal of Guys of a Certain Age, the Guys of a Certain Age Geek Index score, you get 3 points for participating in a major franchise. In a movie, yeah. You get 2 points for a genre movie and 1 point for a genre series. So, what do we got there for Samuel L.?
They on and on. And now we can, the major franchises will be easy. So let's start with the genre and just see if what I wrote down y'all would agree with.
Okay.
Because I came up with a pretty fantastic score, but a lot of it has to do with these genre movies. So, but let's just say this: Samuel L. Jackson.
Right now, I got James Earl Jones at a 57.
57. Oh, he's going to smoke him, but we'll get to that in a second.
Among other things.
Let's just say Samuel L. Jackson might be the true bearer of the title hardest working man in show business.
Very prolific.
Prolific, and in a lot of things that I didn't realize as I scrolled his IMDb page.
Yeah.
So here's the list that I got, and just tell me what you think. So,
we will.
the Garfield movie. Would you consider that genre because it's animated?
Yeah, I guess so.
I mean, it's comic.
Yeah.
Comic. Okay, so that.
What did he play in Garfield?
It was a voice of someone.
Okay.
I don't remember.
Not Garfield.
Yeah, no, it was not. No, it wasn't the major character, but he was in it. What about Argyle?
It's a spy movie. I don't know. Have we gone? I mean, granted, Henry Cavill's in it, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
I would probably
We've included some things like Patriot Games and that kind of stuff, which he was also in. But
Have we included Patriot Games?
yeah, we included.
Jeffrey Wright?
I can't remember who it was.
or
but we,
James Earl Jones, probably.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Well,
we have in the past.
I'll allow it.
Okay, so then there's this one I haven't heard of. Paws of Fury is another animated thing. So I
Don't know about it.
Okay,
let's
we'll
let's
X
nix
that
it.
one.
Yeah.
What
Ixnay on the
about
pause nay.
Glass?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, all right.
That's
and
genre.
then Incredibles and Incredibles 2.
Yes.
What about XXX?
I am the greater good.
Well, if you're
know
going to
about
include
those.
Patriot Games, XXX, you'd have to include that too. It's
I don't know XXX.
XXX is a
Vin Diesel?
like Vin Diesel's take on James Bond. It's a spy
Gotcha.
movie and
Okay.
a very
I haven't
action packed kind of
seen
thing. Yeah, it's really not too bad.
Okay, well, if you include those, then Kong Skull Island.
No, it's
Oh,
that's
absolutely.
For sure. Legend of Tarzan, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Kingsman Secret Service.
Yes.
I can't read more.
I forgot who's in
RoboCop.
that. Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's the remake, I guess, right?
2014.
There's something called Turbo. That was another animated thing that I hadn't heard of. Maybe we'll X that. Put that in the category with Paws of Fury. Something called Quantum Quest. Do you recognize
I don't remember that.
It was it's a sci-fi something, but I've
Casino
never heard
Space Odyssey. He was a voice of. Yeah. I'm going to say no.
It's not a
Okay.
game, is it? We're not doing games.
No,
not doing
he's in a bunch of video games, but
Yeah.
as other characters. Okay, there's a movie called Sphere, which I thought was
Yeah,
perfect.
yeah.
Absolutely, Michael Crichton.
Michael Crichton, yeah.
Yeah.
Jurassic Park
Yes.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
and Patriot,
Hold on to your butts. Sorry, Mrs. Reed.
Patriot Games.
But that is his line from that.
Patriot Games, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so those are the ones that I got that were genre movies, and if I took out 3, then we're still in good shape. Okay, so that's the genre movies. We'll come back to the big ones. The TV series, What If?
Absolutely.
Secret Invasion. I know
Yeah.
these Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yes.
And Clone Wars.
Okay.
So that's 4. And I felt like there ought to be more, but that's all I came across on TV. But they're all, long, obviously. All right, so Marvel, this is the long list.
Yeah, no kidding.
The Marvels, Spider-Man Far From Home, Avengers Endgame, Captain Marvel, Avengers Infinity War, Avengers Age of Ultron, Captain America Winter Soldier, Avengers, Captain America First Avenger, Thor, Iron Man, and Iron Man 2. And the funny thing is, on the Iron Man credits, it says he's uncredited.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
thought that
He's
was
definitely in it, though.
Yeah.
That was
So-
that was huge.
Yeah, so that's all the...
The Avengers Initiative. Oh, I still get goosebumps.
I know. I did too. I had chills when you said it. I mean, is
Yeah.
that kind of effect?
Yeah.
So that's all the Marvel, and then Star Wars episodes 1, 2, and 3, Rise of Skywalker. So there's 4 of those. So
I'm seeing a couple others on here that you didn't mention that I think belong. Die Hard with a Vengeance.
I wasn't sure about that.
Well, I think if we're going into Patriot Games and that kind of stuff.
I mean, it is the greatest Christmas movie of all time. So, well, maybe not with a vengeance, but
no,
That's the sequel, right?
yeah,
That's the third one.
yeah. Pulp Fiction.
I see. I would say yes.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, if you're going to go with the other ones, I think that's a.
So how is that?
I'll-
I'm not sure that I've ever seen Pulp Fiction. So
What?
what would that be genre-wise?
Well, I guess it's an action movie the same way that Patriot Games and X are, but I guess it's not a spy movie.
It's really
an
not a-
assassins movie.
It's really not a genre
Yeah.
movie.
Okay, let's go. Well, I'll
Yeah,
just, I'll
yeah,
remove that.
let's-
It's just such a good movie.
It is. Do not
Tarantino.
watch it with Mrs. Reed.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I knew that.
Yeah.
I knew that much. What else you see?
I'm looking through. All right, we got to put snakes on a plane in there. Okay. Really? Okay, don't. It's
I don't know. I mean, it's
See,
an
that's
iconic.
That's the thing. You think
It's
like
an
I'm
iconic
thinking
movie, but is it a genre
Django
movie?
and all these other Quentin Tarantino movies, but they're not really.
Well,
Yeah.
he's in a bunch of other great movies, but
Yeah.
do they fit the
Yeah.
Geek Index?
Yeah.
is the
yeah. You're
Yeah,
right. I
it's-
hate to say that.
yeah.
You're right. I don't see any.
Well, we got to record it.
I don't see anything else that would drop in. You said RoboCop already. Barely Lethal. Wow. Okay. Never heard of that one. And we said The Legend of Tarzan.
There's some other movies he's been in that you can't say on the air.
Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children.
Oh,
I
yeah,
saw
that's genre.
Yeah, that's genre.
That's
Absolutely.
kind of an X-Men-esque type story.
Yeah. Keep going.
He's really been in so many things.
Yeah.
Gosh, dog.
Yeah.
And being a character like Nick Fury and Mace Windu, I mean, that just puts you in everything. And if we were including video games, associated with those properties, then it'd be an even more.
And we probably should, but we can't get it.
And there's some in little shorts and stuff. I'd include every little short.
Yeah.
What about? Do you have the TV stuff from Marvel though? Did you mention?
Yeah, I mentioned that.
You
Secret
mentioned
Invasion, Agents of Shield. What if?
Yeah.
What about? Was he ever in? He was in Agents of Shield. You said that. Okay.
Yeah, he had a guest
cameo
appearance when they started it all. So, all right. With all that,
What's
all right, with the additions and subtractions, I think he's got an 82.
Wow. So I'm
48 with the major franchises, 30 with the I don't know, my math. I had the math all done and then I scratched through it all.
we're going to go with 82.
Well, actually, it would be 84.
Would you make up your mind?
Anyway, 82 is a good score. Nobody's hit 82 yet, I don't know.
Well, I just put 84 now, so now it's
84.
84.
All right.
Yeah. So what? All right.
Time to Kill. We'll give him a Time to Kill because that's Mississippi and we're in Mississippi and that's our genre.
What about Mississippi Burning? Was he in that?
No,
I don't think so.
Okay.
No.
Black Snake Moan.
He killed it in a Time
He
to
was
Kill,
in
though.
Black Snake Moan.
Yeah.
Man, he's been in so much
Is that a
stuff.
Mississippi movie too?
Maybe Alabama. I'm not sure.
I can't remember.
It's Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi.
I
one.
haven't seen that one. I haven't seen
I haven't
the
seen it
snake movies.
Snake
The
what?
snake genre, the snake movies.
Okay.
Snakes on a plane, Black Snake Moan.
Yeah, but anyway.
But
so-
let me ask you this: do you think Samuel L. Jackson is similar to Ryan Reynolds in that a lot of the movies he's in, he's playing Samuel L. Jackson?
Yes.
I think it's become that way. I think
he can play other parts. I
Yeah.
think he can do other things. But I think basically now when you hire Samuel L. Jackson, I mean, I don't think he's to the degree that Ryan Reynolds is. I think he, gives nuanced performance, and sometimes he's, more kind of campier versions of himself than others. And I think he can still play a nuanced performance that's different.
Yeah.
But,
Well, if you look at something like A Time to Kill and then compare that to Nick Fury, there's definitely a difference. And again, I haven't seen Snakes on a Plane, but maybe that was
and Glass, I mean, that's a very different performance.
and Django. I mean, all that.
Yeah. So, all right.
But
So-
I guess in the genre movies that all the Marvel, I mean, it's the same character, I realize, but it seems like there's some crossover,
some variations with him. So, all right. Well, cool. Samuel L. is the leader in the
current
clubhouse.
winner. Yeah, I don't know if we'll top that.
We haven't done James Hong, though, right?
I don't think so.
Okay.
No. Who have we done? We've done Jeffrey Wright.
David Tennant.
Jeffrey Rupp. No.
Jeffrey Wright, David Tennant. We did James Earl Jones. I'm not sure we've done.
I think that's it, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I don't know what David Tennant's score is. Jay, why don't you go back and listen to that one for
I
us?
don't have to listen to it. I have my notes right
Do
here.
you have it? All right.
Wow.
But it wasn't as high as you. I mean, that's the thing is.
We thought it would be higher going into
Yeah.
the thing.
And I like Jeffrey Wright's score too, please, if you've got it.
It's in here somewhere. Carry on.
We'll take a
while I-
moment of silence while Jay. We actually could probably wrap the show up. And
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm doing like Robbie. I'm looking at artwork now.
Yeah.
I was looking for the score earlier, and I know it's in here. We'll have to come back to that probably.
Yeah, we'll get it. But so I can't imagine
We'll put it
anybody
on
else.
our page. And
Yeah, I heard y'all mention on the Sphere episode that we had show notes. I was excited to hear.
Well,
about
these
that.
are show notes that we're doing. So I guess
David Tennant had a 22.
22. Gosh, that's surprising.
Jeffrey Wright 16.
Gosh.
Oh, I didn't put.
Why do we dedicate a show to Jeffrey Wright?
I think because he was in so many different.
It was right there when we did it. He was kind of like the.
But
the big
you know,
star.
I think we need to do a show on some of the lesser known actors and actresses who've been in things, and I looked up who have been in Star Wars, Marvel, and DC just to get a list, and there's quite a number. And if you start looking at their Geek Indexes, they actually top some of the ones we've already talked about, even though they may not be like Benicio del Toro, Oscar Isaacs. I mean, Natalie Portman. If you get into that kind of stuff, you see people who have crossed the genres that you wouldn't have thought so.
Yeah.
And anyway, we'll save that for another.
I'm curious about
episode.
Kurt Russell's. I don't think he'd be. I think he'd be kind of like a David Tennant or Jeffrey Wright, probably.
Guardian the Galaxy and what else?
Sky High, The Thing.
Oh yeah.
Big Trouble in Little China.
Escape to New York.
Escape to New York.
And
Escape to LA.
Monarch, right?
Monarch series.
Yeah.
See, I think that'd be fun to kind of take multiple characters and.
We should just do a standing, Geek Index once a month or once every 4 weeks. Is what
There
we
you go.
do. So,
How about that for planning?
There we go. Cool beans. All right, that's going to do it this time around. See you later.